Hey, this is Davinci Resolve color page in a nutshell. This can get quite overwhelming, but once you get used to it, this is the jam of Resolve. This is what everybody loves. Let's start with the top bar. We got our gallery. This is kind of like saving presets for various grades or various node configurations. Let's say I created a node tree and I customize this and I want to save this for another project. I can right click, grab a still, this saves it right here. Now I can go to a different clip and I can take this and drag and drop it, and all my nodes are transferred. Well, this is pretty handy. You can build power grade albums, power grade or power bins. They transfer between projects. So if I was to go on a different project, this preset catalog will stay with me, and I'll be able to keep using that. Now let's move on to the lot page. This is where you would find your lots. You can also import more lots here. Then we got a media pool. I've never used this. You probably will never have to use this either, but it's here. We got our timeline toggle. This is our timeline view. I usually turn this off, save space, unless you're confused about where you are in the film. You don't absolutely don't need this. This is your clips toggle. Those are all my clips. Clip is pretty much every time a cut happens, it's another clip. We got our nodes right here. We get our open effects. A lot of very cool ones. You got blurs. You got good grain. You've also got some generators. For example, a color palette. This will show your color palette of an image. You got your highlight, midtones, shadows, and the overall look of an image. This can be quite useful for analyzing other people's work. You look, checking out a reference which you might have imported to Resolve. And then lastly, we got our lightbox. This is a nice overview of all the cuts in our film. This is pretty handy for checking consistency between shots and just seeing everything at the same time. Now, I'll have another video on how nodes work in Resolve, but a super basic explanation is this is your raw image, and then this is your output, and in between, you build your little pipes with various effects, and those are kind of the things that happen to an image, and then it gets outputted. Now going for the bottom, we got our camera raw tab. If we shot in raw, this will be available. You'll be able to modify your camera settings. We get our color checker window. Use the color checker, you have to click here, click on the color chart. You would overlay this over your color checker and then click match. Nextly, we got our color wheels. We got our RGB mixer. We got our noise reduction tab, curves, qualifiers, power windows or masks, trackers, blurred, key, sizing transforms, and 3D. Down on the right, we got our keyframe adjustments. We got our scopes, parade, waveform, vectorscope, and histogram. You're most likely want to get good at reading the waveform and also taking advantage of the vectorscope with the skin tone indicator. You do get a little bit of customization with the color page. You can actually pop out your scopes and you can move them to a different monitor. Another thing you can also do is this is the same on the edit and color page and also in Fusion. Use your scroll wheel to zoom in or out to your image and use the middle mouse button to move it around. You can click here and click fit to zoom it out again. If you have multiple monitors, you can bounce your viewer to a full screen view on another monitor. You would do this by going to Workspace, Video Clean Feed, and then selecting your monitor. That's it. That's the color page in a nutshell.